right, we are back at it. Let me see if I can get this kind of straightened out. I feel like it looks crooked, but we're gonna get it right. We're gonna get it right. That'll do for now. But in the meantime, in between time, let us get started with the disclosures, the disclaimers, all that kind of stuff, all that. Looks like TikTok is still trying to get live and go live for your boy. So we'll get it popping with the disclosure slash legal disclaimer. So please note that the following is not legal or financial advice and is pretended or pretended. All right, let's start off from the top. Please note that the following is not legal or financial advice and is provided for informational and educational purposes only. Investing in securities carries a high degree of risk and can result in the loss of your entire investment. You should consult with a qualified financial advisor or legal professional before making any investment decisions. The information contained in this presentation does not constitute an offer or solicitation to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments. Any opinions expressed in this presentation are subject to change without notice and should not be relied upon as a recommendation to buy or sell any securities. Please do your own due diligence or research before making any investment decisions. All right, so we got a few people in the building. Let's see. Let's get started. Let's do a recap. And of course, if you're new to my live, if you're new to my TikTok, my name is Curtis G, and I do options trading for beginners. So we will get started in here in just a moment. Just some slight technical difficulties all over the place. I mean, damn, for real. Why is everything got to be so much of a what's the name these days? But all right, there we go. Now we're looking good. Now we're looking good. All right, so just a little recap on the week. A little recap on the week. So if you are new, like I said, if you're new to my live, my name is Curtis G. I do options trading for beginners. And right now, currently, I am trading with roughly $1,000 per trade. And here is what I made this past week. So I made 200 bucks, a little over 200, using about 1,000 bucks. Really, this week I averaged about $900 a trade, and it came out pretty good, pretty decent. Really proud of myself this week. Nothing too crazy. You guys can see some of the TradeZella stats here. This is how the week looked, and this is the overall month. So I'm still up for the month, even though I had some kind of brutal days over here on the 16th and the 17th. Still doing pretty good, but wanted to show y'all, where does it show all the trades? Oh, here they go over here. So that's what the trades look like. Now, of course, if you wanted to get some more, maybe like real time or live time information, you can go and check out my Twitter. I post my plays and things that I'm looking at and recaps and my P&L and all the wins and losses and screenshots and all that kind of stuff. If you're interested in that, then just head over to my Twitter. It's at the Curtis G24. So if you wanted to check that out, you could check out over there. But as we get started and we go into the recap first for today, we'll go over the trade that I took today, and then we'll get into the overall recaps. And we're just going to cover some basics for anybody that's new into options trading or anybody that's new into trading stocks. If you don't know anything, then we're going to cover that as well. But let's start off with the trade of today. So today's trade, let me go ahead and bring us down a little bit with the trading view. I always get these names kind of confused and mixed up. So there's TradeZella, which is what you guys saw over here. This is the journaling platform for your trades. And so TradeZella, there's a bunch of them out there. I just tried TradeZella for the first one. But it connects directly to your broker, and then your trades are automatically imported in. So you guys can see what it's looking like and what's going on for me. And then this right here, this screen is Trading View. Now, Trading View is what's known as a charting software, charting platform. I want a big shout out right now to you guys running up the likes. Let me see. That's Walter Reyes 23 or 28. My bad. My bad, Walter. Walter Reyes, thank you so much for the likes. My guy ran up a quick 200, almost 300 likes. I appreciate it. Cody, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. We got people rolling in, so I love it. I love it. So, like I said, if you're just joining, my name is Curtis G, and I do options trading for beginners. This is my week right over here. Over the past week, what I did, I used roughly about $900 per trade this week, and I came out with about 200 in the profit. Now I do have to be careful the words that I use because I feel like lately TikTok has really been censoring me and kind of restricting my content. So I got to kind of play it safe. But let's put this over here, and then let's bring up the charts. So this is Trading View. And so I've actually been dipping back out, getting back into other tickers. The last couple of months, I pretty much have been exclusively trading SPY, unless I found like a string trade and I got into Amazon or something else. But I did a quick scalp, which was in hindsight somewhat of a risky trade because we've started this downtrend, right? We're currently looking at the 30-minute time frame on QQQ. Now, if you don't know what that means each one of these bars or candlesticks that you see represents 30 minutes in time. So starting from yesterday, as we all know, the market is starting to have a pullback, and now we've got 2 consecutive days starting this downward trend. But the trade that I took was a quick scalp on calls right here when we had this bullish hammer. And this was actually really risky. I thought we would come up a little bit more, but we were at the support and resistance zone. So I should have notated that. But I was able to get in and out with the trade, made about 8%, 9%. I think we can go take a look at it right here for today, 927. I had a one and done. And let me move this over, Lord. All right, there it is. So $65 on QQQs. Let me move this over here. 7% return on a quick scalp. The trade was like 2 minutes, and I used about $893. So, like I said, I'm trading with about 1,000 per trade, and I typically aim for 5 to 10% profit. Here I was like right in the middle with almost 7.5%. And so that was a quick scalp. But in hindsight, right, I'm glad that I didn't get greedy. I'm glad that I stuck with my trading plan because I probably would have got burned or maybe even stopped out with how these candles moved. But that was the trade of the day. But I do want to go over a couple of my like go-to strategies for anybody that's interested or for all the beginners out there. And so what I do like to do is always show love. So let me see who the top viewers are right now. TikTok isn't letting me see the top viewers. So let's just get into some basics. We're just going to cover some beginners things for the beginning options traders out there. So if you're coming through the live right now, we're talking about options trading for beginners. Now, normally what I like to do, I'm going to go ahead and delete this trend line that I drew. Typically, the way that I like to trade, and I've been somewhat, this has really helped me out the past couple of months. It's a very simple, very easy strategy. And like I said, I trade for beginners. I like to keep my style very simplistic, very simple. For the most part, I use some very straightforward basic levels, support and resistance, a little bit of trend line, and that's about it. I'm not going over the top with anything else. Now, of course, that's no disrespect to people that use different concepts and different strategies out there. They all have their levels of success. All right. And so you just want to find the method that works best for you. But typically, what I do, right, is I mark out the pre market high, which we have this candle right here. Officially, it was 490.96. So we just want to move this up just a little bit. Let's make sure we bring it up just a little bit more. I don't know why I am not on it. All right. So we want to bring it to 96, 490.96. And then we want to mark out the pre-market low. We want to mark out the pre-market low right about here. Boom. Thank y'all for coming through. Nettie Love, what's going on? Norma, I see you. Jermaine. All right, so now we got our pre-market high marked out and we got our pre-market low. All right, cool. Now I typically make these white lines. Of course, you can make them any colors that you want them to be, but I usually make the pre-market high and the pre-market low white lines. Boom. And then after we've marked out our pre-market high and our pre-market low, what we want to do is we want to mark out where did price open. So when the market opened up, where was price at? That's a very important level. It's going to help us set the tone for the day once we mark these three levels. So we see with this first candlestick right here, and we are looking at the 30-minute chart. So if you are new, what that means is each one of these bars or these candlesticks that you see, they represent 30 minutes of time. So we're on a 30-minute chart. And so we want to figure out where price opened. It opened at 490.50. We're going to bring that line up to right here. And then I typically make that line a blue line. Now we've got our levels. We've got our levels. Super simple, really good. And so the long and short of the strategy, and it isn't something that was I came up with, of course, right? All of these strategies that you hear people talk about, they've been around for a long time. There's a particular mentor that taught this to me. And so I'm just relaying it to y'all. He said, yo, you go out there to tell the people as you see fit. And so we got our pre-market high marked out. We got our pre-market low. And then we marked right here with this blue line, where did price open up at? Now, mainly what we're talking about is scalping. So keep that in mind. We're talking about scalping. Now, what you want to do is, of course, we want to wait and see where this first 30-minute candle closes. If the first 30-minute candle closes below the opening price, then you want to target the pre-market low with your puts. If it was to close above the opening price, then you want to target the pre-market high with your calls. So this was the perfect day to do that. And I should have just stuck with that, but this was the perfect example, right? Our first candle closes below the open, and then we target the pre-market low for our puts. The most challenging candle would have been the one that we entered on. And depending on your risk tolerance, you may have gotten stopped out. But there is one thing, and I'll admit, like this one thing that I'm about to tell you has been like the hardest thing for me to really get comfortable with. And it's very, very hard to kind of like not let your emotions take control. But the mentor who taught me this strategy told me, he said, remember, it's not where the candle goes, it's where it closes. And that's a very hard thing. I'll admit it's easier said than done. It's so easier to say, hey, it's not where the candle goes, it's where it closes. But you also have to keep that in mind with your overall risk tolerance and your strategy. But it does help you to become patient, letting the trade play out. Because depending on how conservative you are with your trades, you might have gotten stopped out. But if you stayed in it, you were able to reap the rewards and get in here. So let me check out the chat. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody's comments or questions. Appreciate everybody. Vic says he saw supply. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. All right. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Thank you for coming through. So if you just now joined, I know we got a lot of people kind of coming and going. Jan, I see you. What's going on? Mickey, Amor, Juan Manuel, what's up? So real basic, easy steps. You want to mark out the pre-market high. You want to mark out the pre-market low. You want to take a note as to where the price open up at. And then you want to let this first 30-minute candle do its thing to see whether or not it closes below the open or if it closes above the open. If it closes below, like we see here, then we want to take puts and target the pre-market low. If it closes above, then we want to take calls and target the pre-market high. So that's the strategy, long and simple. The dope thing about it is you can use it on different timelines. So maybe if you're not comfortable with 30-minute, you could do it on the hour, the 4 hour. Maybe it's not so much the time. Maybe you like to add an EMA in there. Maybe you like to add MACD. Maybe you like to add some other indicators. You can use all of those to help corroborate or add confluence to the strategy. Yes, yes. All right. JD89 says, oh shit, I just got it. Hopefully it's very simple, JD. Hopefully it's very, very simple. You know, we saw the same thing before, but it's one thing to keep in mind, right? You hear about understanding market structure. So we've kind of entered into the structure of a downturn, but we saw the same thing yesterday. We mark out our pre-market low, our pre-market high. We let this first candle do its thing. We see that it closed below the open. And you could have took a quick scalp on puts targeting the pre-market low. And then if you wanted to, you could have wrote it on down. Same thing with today. Same thing with today. That's what's up. Bullies by us. What's going on? Trader Dan. What's up? What's up? So very, very simple strategy. If that made sense to you and you've been in the chat for a while, you heard me go over everything, drop a 1 in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat if it made sense. If it didn't make sense, then please put your questions in the chat. Let me know what I could clarify for you. Or if there's just additional questions about the strategy that you have, put those in the chat as well. So if it made sense, drop a 1. If it didn't make sense, let me know your questions. All right, we got a 1 from JD89. We got a 1 from Vic. That's what's up. A big shout out to Walter Reyes. Thank you for all the likes, my guy. I appreciate you. We got a 1 from Walter. That's what's up. All right. Now, Bullies by Us says, how is SPY looking for Monday? So right now we're looking at QQQs, and typically QQQs and SPY pretty much move the same. But if you wanted to get, now let me give you a disclaimer, right? I try my hardest not to do any predicting. And I know that's kind of counterintuitive. It's a little bit easier for me not to try to predict anything because I'm more of a scalper. Most of my trades, I get in and out in less than 10 minutes. But if you're more of a day trader, and in my opinion, a day trade is anything that takes more than an hour, or if you're more than a swing trader, we can kind of take a look at SPY. Now we've had 2 very strong bearish red days so far on SPY. I'm going to go ahead and clear my drawings that we got so far on here. Boom. And then what I like to do, this is actually almost like an inside day. This is pretty much an inside day. So we're starting to build a little bit of consolidation, right? Instead of us just having a lower high and a lower low, price is kind of compressing, consolidating here. And the more that price kind of presses against itself and consolidates, then we all know, right? Well, we all know for the most part, we're all beginners here, but for the most part, as price starts to press against itself and consolidate, then we're going to have a breakout and push either up to the upside or to the downside. But the way I'm looking at this, though, is that there's two ways we can kind of play this, right? And like I said, we're trying not to predict. We only really want to react to the market. But what I would do, we're looking at the daily chart for SPY. So if you're new to all this and it sounds like a foreign language, when you hear we're looking at the whatever chart, if you hear somebody say we're looking at the hourly chart, that means that each one of these represents 1 hour. If you hear somebody say, hey, we're looking at the daily chart, that means each one of these represents 1 day. So currently, we're looking at the daily chart on SPY. We're looking at the daily chart on SPY. We've had two bearish red days, so price is starting to drop down a little bit. But the first thing that my eyes go to are just kind of pinpointing some trend lines, just trend lines a little bit. So we're getting a little bit of that consolidation, right? And then what I like to do is after starting off on the daily time frame, I like to come down to the 30. But that's more so because I'm more of a scalper. And then I like to kind of clean up my trend lines just to tighten them up a little bit. So what I would like to see potentially, depending on Monday, is if price continues to stay in this area, maybe starting out the day, we'll take a quick spike upwards a little bit. But if price does, this is where I'm more confident. This is where I'm more confident. So in terms of what SPY may do for Monday, I have a higher level of confidence in waiting for price to come up to anywhere in this area on this downward trend line and then taking puts to the downside. That's what I would be looking for SPY on Monday. But of course, anything can happen. Monday is the restart of the week, and we'll be ending the month. And we have a lot of money, liquidity that's poured into the markets going into a new week. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have either somewhat of a slight gap up or gap down, just somewhat of a reset by the market makers. But that's my longest short of how I will be looking at SPY for Monday. Now, if you want stronger analysis, right? If you want stronger confluence, then the best thing that you could do is go up to your higher time frame. So we went up to the daily. That's what the daily's looking like. I'm actually really not too confident in this bottom trend line. We went up to the daily. That's what the daily is looking like. But if you want more confidence and you're more of a swing trader, then you might want to take a look at the weekly chart. And so on the weekly chart, we're still in this upward trend. We're still green. The last 3 weeks have been green on SPY, even though on the daily, we started somewhat of a downtrend. So we're still green on the weekly. So if you're into swing trading and you can afford to do so in your options contracts, you might want to get some far out. Like I said in my last few lives, I think with Jerome Powell doing the rate cuts the other day, I think with the whole adage and the classic notion that during election years, typically the market has up. I said this a few times over my last few lives this week. My overall sentiment, right? In the short term, we have a little bit of bearish sentiment. We just saw these two red days. My overall sentiment is that price will continue to rise for SPY and kind of crest up going into 2025 before we have our real kind of like violent pullbacks, drawdowns, and retracements. So if you can, or if I could do it, then I would get contracts as far out as I could afford, maybe December, January that were calls, and I will let those ride. But I would try to get those in the money as well. So I do think because we still have October, November, and December left, that's a solid 12 weeks. There still will be days or weeks in there that might be red. So don't be afraid of a little bit of pullback if you have bullish sentiment like myself. All right. All right. So I hope that gave you a little insight asking about what SPY is looking like for Monday. In the immediate short term, I think we started this little downward trend, but in the longer term, we're still a bit bullish. So I would still have a little bit of a bullish sentiment with some calls as far out, as much in the money as I can afford them to be. All right, let's go through. All right. So Hell's Kitchen Vet, thank you for the follow. Kevin, what's going on? Copperhead, I see you. All right, all right. Bulls by us says thank you. Just because I have 572 calls for Monday. Oh, you got 572 calls. 572 calls for Monday. Yeah, I had that bottom line, right? You saw me draw that bottom trend line kind of on this consolidation, and we could see it actually has been kind of playing out pretty strong from here. I hope you can see that right there. So we're looking at the daily chart on SPY, and it looks like SPY's been kind of respecting this bottom trend line right here. Then we'll bring it down to the 30 minute. So it would be nice. Let's kind of clean it up a little bit because we're talking about 572 calls. We're talking about 572 calls on Monday. So it's too early to tell. It would be different if this was Monday morning and we are in the pre-market seeing pre-market activity, but it does look like we're starting this trend that SPY has kind of respected this line down here. So it would be nice if SPY goes ahead and bounces up going into Monday for you for those calls. And it's very possible because we've kind of been respecting it. We might get a bounce up like we've been seeing, and then a strong push to the downside at some point in the day. But like I said, I try hard not to try to predict or have any bias. I really just want to react to what price is doing, what the market is doing. Now, I want to go over another strategy with y'all. Give me just a second, though. I want to go over one more strategy with y'all. One of my favorites. If you've been in my live before, I really, really like talking about this one. And let me see if I could show y'all an example. One of my favorite strategies that I really, really like. And I will say this is more so for scalpers, not really day trading or swing trading. What we're about to see in just a moment. Let me see if I can find an example. And if I can't, we won't waste too much time. I know it already feels like cherry picking, right? When you're going back into the past, doing kind of like back testing, it's almost like you're cherry picking an example. But I just want to show you guys one. All right, here's a light one. Here is a very, very light one. And I've gone over this before. So if you're taking notes and you're following me, we're looking at SPY on the 30-minute chart. Let me kind of bring this down a little bit. Let's bring this up. We're looking at SPY on the 30-minute chart, and we are back to September 19th. We're back to September 19th. So I'm going to show you guys the strategy here. Then I'm going to show you that I back tested it, and then you can write it down, and I want you to take it and run with it. And so this strategy isn't going to make you the most money. This is really just to get a quick in and out, a quick scalp, make a couple dollars. Don't overstay your welcome and keep it pushing. So what I really, really, really like to trade, and I've only tested this on the 30-minute chart, is seeing a bullish engulfing that occurs above the previous day high. So right now we're looking at SPY back on September 19th. We see that we've got a bullish engulfing here and that it occurred above the previous day high, even one right here as well. And I have found that that's typically a strong, strong indication that price is going to have some more bullish momentum. So, one thing to take note of, though, there's one thing to take note of about this. My definition of an engulfing is slightly different than the formal definition. My definition of an engulfing is as long as the candle body on the engulfing candle, so this one right here, as long as the candle body is wider than this candle, the one that is actually engulfing, that's what I consider an engulfing. Now, the formal true definition is price has to start below this candle, and then, of course, it has to end above it in terms of being a true formal engulfing. But that's not what I look for. I just look for, did this candle body move wider and farther than this one? So that's what we see right there. And it did occur above the previous day high over here. So we're looking at September 19th and we're looking at September 18th on SPY. So if you're following on your tablet or your computer or your phone and you're taking notes, that's what we're looking for. Bullish engulfings on the 30-minute chart that occur above the previous day high. Now, let me back it up. Let me back it up and show you guys the receipts. And let me show you that I back tested it. Where is it at? I'll open up my manual back testing log. So I did this back testing literally. I did this back testing right here, literally by hand, manually going through candlestick by candlestick on TradingView. So here's all my back testing. As you guys can see, I did almost 200 instances of looking at the 30-minute chart on SPY and figuring this out. And what I found was if we see that setup present itself, there is an 80% chance that we're going to have continued bullish momentum. So how did I do it? It's a very simple formula. that I put in here, I basically just used ones and zeros to give me the probability and the percentage. And then I added a column to notate, did the engulfing happen above or below the previous day low? Did it happen above or below the previous day 50%? And did it happen above or below the previous day high? And after I went back and I did this hundreds of times, as you guys could see, I found out that the highest probability setup is looking for that right there, a bullish engulfing 30-minute chart above the previous day high. We've got an 80% chance of some more bullish momentum activity. Now, there's one more thing I want you to take note of. One more thing. This is very, 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 very important. All right. What I back tested also in this strategy is I had a column or a category that says bearish lead up candles. What does that mean? What that means is I was looking to see, was there more than one red candle in consecutive order, or was there only one, like how we see here? You see how there's one red candle, then we have the bullish engulfing. We had one red candle, then we had a bullish engulfing. That's what we want to see. Now, if there are several red candles that are back to back to back, then our probability drops down, and we could go check it out on the back testing log. So right now I have a 0, and that would indicate to me that, hey, there was only one bearish lead up candle. But when I notated that, hey, there are several candles, so I took that filter off. Now I'm turning it back on. Let's go see what happened to our percentage, our probability. You see our probability dropped down to 70% chance. So there's still a strong chance, right? If you see more than one red candle back to back, and then we have a bullish engulfing, there's still a strong chance. But of course, we want to find the highest probability setups. And the highest probability that I found is the ideal situation looks like just one little red candle or one bearish candle by itself. Then we get our bullish engulfing. And as you can see, it even happened again. One red candle, a bullish engulfing, some more bullish momentum. So that one I'm really, really proud of. Of course, I didn't invent it, but I'm proud of it because it was something that my eyes and my mind and my brain caught. It was a pattern that I recognized, and then I started to see it. I wrote down a few instances, and then I went in and I back tested it on Excel, and that's one of my favorite ones to trade right there. Okay, so if that makes sense, you guys go ahead and drop a one in the chat. Bulls by Us replied to Miriam. It's called the Engulfed Curtis. Thank you for the likes, y'all. Thank y'all for the likes. 3K likes that quick. Thank y'all so much. That means a whole lot on a Friday night. That means a whole lot on a Friday night. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. It means a whole lot for Friday night. All right. So drop a one in the chat if that makes sense. Yo, is that Swanda? Thank you for coming through. Allison Mallory, what's going on? Bulls by Us says my thumbs are hurting me, and I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it a lot. You don't understand how much that it means to me. Let me tap in with you and make sure that I got you, man. I appreciate you. All right, we got a one from Bulls by Us. So if you just joined, I'm gonna just repeat it really quickly. The strategy that I really, really like trading, and this is for scalpers, right? So you're not gonna make the most money, but it will get you a couple dollars. The long and short of it is this: you want to find a bullish engulfing that happens above the previous day high. And here's an example. You could look at September 19th, 2024 for SPY, and then compare it to, of course, the previous day was September 18th. Now, there was a request earlier this week. Somebody asked me to put my back testing log up online for you guys to download or check out. But I'm not sure if the best way to do it. My first mind is saying just to throw it up like on a Google shared link or Google Drive or something like that. What do you guys think? What's the best way for me to be able to share the back testing log with all of y'all? Should I just go to Google and kind of upload it? Because I have this in Microsoft Excel. So is there a way just to add it like as an attachment and download on Google, or do I have to redo the whole thing in like Google Sheets? All right, MT774. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You should focus on my rapping career. Dirty Dean says I need to focus on rap. Bulls by Us says I think Excel works. I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. Either way, I mean, I have no problem just kind of taking the data, putting it over to Google Sheets for everybody. And then I think the best way would probably just put the link in like maybe a link tree or a link in my bio. And then you guys could download the back testing log and then you can try it out for yourself. But here's all the dates. I went back as far as what appears to be August of 2023. Bulls by us says you're a rapper. Nah, I think he's just cracking jokes. I think he's just cracking jokes. Bulls by us. Don't take him seriously. MT774 says no Google Sheets works. All right, all right, all right. So Dirty Dean says, "I'm sorry, my G. Well, I'll try to make it. Best of luck for sure, man. I hear you. I hear you. Um, yeah. So that's what I'll do. Maybe I should do it live with you all. You guys don't dox me or anything, though. I know you guys on the internet are super smart, so I'm trusting you. We're all supposed to be trusting each other here. All right, Google Sheets, because I can't just do a Google Doc, right? I can't just add it as a yeah. I can't just do a Google Doc. And could I do Google Drive though? That way I don't have to I mean, I'm not trying to be lazy or anything, but that way I don't have to like redo everything in Google Sheets. Let me make sure there's no crazy information in my Google Drive. All right. Can I add the all right, because this is shared on let me see. All right, so what I'm trying to do, if you guys are rocking with me right now, I want to be able to make my back testing log available to you all. This is a request that was from earlier this week. And I think the easiest way for me to do it is just to make it available on Google as like a public link for you guys to be able to download. I was hoping that maybe I could just share a link to the Excel, but let me see. Google Sheets. I might have to do it. All right, let me take off all the filters on this. Let me take off all the filters. So if you're just joining my live, we went over one of my favorite strategies, which is looking at the bullish engulfing that occurs above a previous day high. All right, I think all the filters are gone. So you guys can see, look, I went back hundreds, it's almost 200 times. I went back almost 200 times and I back tested this. So now what I want to do is I want to copy all of this. Y'all don't make fun of me. This is supposed to be a judge-free zone, right? It's a judge-free zone. You guys are not gonna crack jokes. I know how the internet is. The internet is undefeated. Okay, so what we're doing right now is I'm just figuring out how to get my backtesting log available to all of y'all on Google Sheets. Oh snap. I think we're in business, y'all. I think we're in business. Let's look. All right, that's how the Google Sheets is coming out. That's how the Google Sheets is coming out. MT774 says use an alternative email to share it. Oh, snap, you're right. Transfer over to another email and share it. Okay. Good looking out. Good looking out. Hey, Cassie, what's going on? All right. Diddy James says, can you go over your strategy one more time? Okay. Yes. After the 30-minute engulfing candle over the previous day high, you enter next candle. That's right. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is what we'll do. I got some good information. Thank you. That was MT77U. So I'm gonna take some time offline later on tonight. I'm gonna use a different email to share this, and then I'll put the link in the bio, and everybody will be able to download it. You'll be able to have the back testing log yourself. You can go through these and check it out. But I want to thank you, Cassie, for your questions. So Cassie wants to know exactly when do I enter, right? So on this particular setup, I 99% of the time I don't even change the time frame. We're on the 30-minute time frame. I see the setup right here. Let me get into my kind of teaching bag a little bit. Where's I never really use this when I'm on TikTok live, but we're gonna go teacher mode. All right, that's kind of ugly. That's not good. Okay, let me click this. Oh, it did you? Why is it in the back? Hold on. Oh, that's terrible. All right, Cassie, hold on. Rock with me for a little bit. Rock with me for a little bit. This stuff is actually okay. So when we see our setup, we got the setup right here. These two candles. Let me make it easy with let me get a Let me get a. Okay, okay. I swear trading view like be moving stuff. All right, let me just answer your question, Cassie, and then we'll go over it. Cassie Vaughn. So when we see our setup right here, I immediately enter on this candle. As soon as it opens up, I enter on this candle to take calls. We see we had a spike up. Of course, we had a little bit of retracement. Of course, candles go through three different stages, right? I always forget them, so y'all forgive me. We've got our expansion, our manipulation, and then I forgot the third one. But the manipulation to me is just when they try to go against where you want to go, right? So if you got into this, maybe we have this pull down that might have spooked you a little bit. I know that all that feels right. You get into a trade, it immediately goes against you. You got to just let your emotions keep control of your emotions. So I'm going to answer one more time. I know I've been kind of sporadic all over the place, but for Cassie or anybody who's interested, we see our bullish engulfing that happened above the previous day high. And I immediately get in on this candle. Once this happens, I immediately get in on this candle. And you see, if you're just patient, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, that kind of turns into a day trade for me. But you could have stayed in and made this money right here. It's all about sticking to whatever your profit target is, right? Don't get greedy. Don't overstay your welcome because that's where you'll get burned. Remember, this is more of a scalping strategy right here. So as soon as this candle opens up, Cassie, I'm in it and I just kind of catch the ride up. And as soon as my profit target hits, you guys know me, I typically aim for 5 to 10%. I'm gone. I'm out of there. I do not overstay my welcome. All right, Crypto Wick, thank you for the follow. Munish, thank you for the follow. Bulls by us. Have a good night, my guy. I appreciate you. All right, Delta 77. All right, Cassie, did that make sense? Cassie, if you're still in the building, did that make sense? And then there was somebody in the chat who asked for me to go over the whole strategy again. If you guys want me to do the whole strategy one more time, just drop a one in the chat for me. If we want to do it one more time, I really don't mind. Or if y'all have other questions, I'm down for it too. Drop a one in the chat. All right, Brent Baldwin, what's going on? Thank you for the follow. So if we want to go over the strategy one more time, let me know. Or if you guys wanted to see the trade that I took today, let me know. Okay, Diddy James says the first one. All right, we'll do both of them one more time. They're very simple. No worries at all. No worries, Cassie. Thank you, Brent. I appreciate you. So if you just joined, I went over three things. I went over my trade today, and then we went over two strategies. We'll run through them really, really quick, just because I know some people would be telling me I'd be having a yap session. They didn't order a yappuccino, so I don't want to be like I'm yapping, but I want to show y'all. I know we did it with the QQQ, so we're gonna. This is strategy one. This is strategy one. If you just join the chat, you guys get your pens, get your notes, your tablet, your computer, your phone. So the first strategy goes like this. We're on the 30-minute time frame. It actually works on different time frames, but I primarily like to use the 30-minute. And then we're looking at the pre-market high. So if you're using TradingView, you want to make sure you have extended hours on your chart. And it's right here at the bottom right. It should say ETH. It should show ETH on your chart for extended hours. And so what you want to do is you want to mark the pre-market high, which is right here. And then you want to mark the pre-market low, which is down here. And I like to make them white lines, but of course you guys can make them any color that you want. Boom. And then you want to mark, where did price open up at? Where did price open? So price opened up right here. And I normally make it a blue line, bow. And so now we've got our levels drawn, right? We've got our pre-market high, we've got our pre-market low, and then we got where did price open up at. And that's very important because it's going to help us set the tone for the day. Now, we want to let the first 30-minute candle play out. That's the very, very important part. You want to be patient. You don't want to force or rush a trade. You want to let this first 30-minute candle play out. Once the first 30-minute candle closes, you need to note, did it close below the open or above the open? Today, and we're looking at QQQs, today price closed below the open. Now, with that being said, we want to target the pre-market low with our puts. So we would have gotten in on this candle, and I will admit, you would have had to have a high risk tolerance because this candle had a lot of pullback. We came all the way back up to the open, but we didn't cross it. We didn't cross the open. Make a note of that. So you would have got in on this candle for puts, but then you could have rode it all the way down to the pre-market low and went ahead and got out and took profits. Conversely, if price closed above the open, then you want to target the pre-market high. But as you can see, there wasn't much room for a move anyway. So even if it did close above the pre-market high, you want to just exercise extreme caution because we're already there and it could be easy for a snapback, easy for a pullback. So, all right, all right. Let's see, let's see. Cassie Vaughn says, do you ever grab multiple contracts and sell all, but one to see if it continues? Yes, yes, that's one of the areas, Cassie, where I'm really struggling to get out of my comfort zone. I'm not big on letting winners run, but I'm trying to train myself to do so. So I came up with a mechanism for myself, which is for every 5 contracts that I buy, I'll let one run. I'm finally starting to do that. So if I buy 5 contracts, I'll let one run. If I buy 10, I'll let 2 run, so on and so forth. You don't have to use those exact numbers. Maybe you do it with 3. For every 3 contracts you buy, you let one run. Or maybe you do it with 4. For every 4 contracts, you let one run. But for me, I'm such a conservative trader. So I landed on, hey, if I buy 5 contracts, I'll let one run. If I end up buying 10, I'll let 2. If I get 15, I'll let 3. So on and so forth, just to keep it very conservative. All right. Diddy James says it's hard, but when they run, they run. That's right. For real. They be running like Forrest. Collins is back. Thank you for the follow. All right. Galaxy, I appreciate you. Thank you for the follow. All right. Brent Baldwin says, do you execute trades on your phone and chart on TradingView on computer or execute both on phone? No, I primarily do all my charting on my computer or my iPad. That's where the charting goes. And then I execute my trades on my phone. Um, but I'm gonna try to not try. We got to speak with intentionality. I will be graduating from trading on my phone to trading on the computer. And the main reason for that is I primarily trade on Robinhood, and it's just not the best execution. Now, if you're just starting in options trading, because that's one of the number one questions that I get is what platform should you start with as a beginner? I would highly recommend Webull. Yeah, on one end, Robinhood is very, very easy to use and understand. It's kind of like when the iPhone first came out, it's very easy to use. Anybody could use it, little kids could use it. But there's a lot of features that it's lacking. That's what Robinhood is. It's very to use. The user interface is easy. The user interface is really nice. But as you grow as a trader, there are a lot of features that Robinhood doesn't have. And now it's time for me to grow up and graduate. So I'll be moving over to Webull, and you guys can see the Webull right here on my desktop. I had to re-download it earlier this week. And so pretty soon I'll be doing my charting and trading right from my computer. The cool thing is Webull is actually connected and integrated into TradingView. So if you're trading regular stocks, you can just trade them directly from TradingView on your chart. They made somewhat of an announcement or a hint earlier this year that pretty soon you'll be able to do your options trading directly from the chart and Webull all integrated in one, but that hasn't come out yet. But to answer your question, I do my charting on my computer, I trade on my phone, but pretty soon I'll be moving over to having everything in Webull. I've been saying that for a long time. So if you've been rocking with me for a while, you're probably like, yeah, yeah. It's just I'm just taking my time getting out of my comfort zone. But to show you guys right here, I put all of my trades so you guys can see I primarily trade on Robinhood. I put my charts in here, things like that. And then at the end of each week, I put my trading confirmations just so people could see what the deal is. I put my trading confirmations at the end of each week just so people could see. So as soon as Robinhood sends me the email that my trading confirmations are ready, I'll be putting them on here. And I also put them on Twitter for anybody who wants to see. So if you wanted to go to Twitter or X, I don't think I'll ever get used to calling it X. But if you ever wanted to see without having to join the Discord, you could come over to Twitter or X and then look for me. My profile is right here. It is at the Curtis G24. And I put everything else, put everything publicly too. So everything goes there. Win, lose, or draw. If I lose a trade, if I win a trade, I put it on there. All the screenshots, all the weekly confirmations, everything like that. All right, Collins, thank you so much, man. I appreciate the gifts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate that. All right. Chaser says, is there anywhere I can practice trading? Brent says paper trade on TradingView. That's very true. Yes. You can paper trade on TradingView. You can paper trade on Webull. There's a lot of platforms out there. All right, let me go back through. Chaser says, what type of trade are you? I'm more of a scalper. So 90% of the time I'm doing the scalp, and the other 10% of the time I'm doing a swing trade. All right. Cassie Vaughn 12. Thank you for the follow. I thought you had already followed me. All right, Colin says, do you have a link to the Discord? Yes, indeed. It's in the bio. It is in the bio. Link is in the bio. All right. Thank y'all for the likes. We didn't really ran it up tonight. We didn't really ran it up. Okay, so we went over that strategy, and then we'll go back here. And we were just talking about, where is this? We were just talking about the other strategy. This is the one we just talked about. The long and short of it, I won't yap you guys' ear off. The long and short of this strategy is you want to find on the 30-minute chart. So I've only back tested this on the 30-minute chart. All of this back testing here, I've only back tested it on the 30-minute chart. You want to find a bullish engulfing that occurs above the previous day high, and that usually shows that we're going to have some more bullish momentum. So that's one of my favorites. Really easy to understand. All you have to keep in mind is it's for scalping. It's not for overstaying your welcome. Look what happened here. If you would have got in, you had your opportunity to make money, but then you would have lost it all if you overstay your welcome. You don't want to do that. Is it Trello or Treo? Thank you so much. I'm not even used to getting gifts, so I don't even know what these are. I see a team bracelet. I've never gotten that before. So thank you, Trello. I don't think I've ever gotten a team bracelet before. There was another type of gift that Colin sent. It was the W. I've never even gotten a W before. What is that? It is I see team bracelets, a W. I don't even know what the W is. I'm guessing, for a win. So appreciate it. Thank you guys. These are gifts I've never even got before. So thank you guys. I'm not used to getting these. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So we went over those strategies, and then I'll show you guys the trade that I did today on the Qs on QQQ. It actually wasn't really a good trade, even though I made profit. I should have just followed the trend because we had this nice strong downward trend, but I ended up just scalping some calls right here on this candle. Right when we had this bullish hammer, I scalped calls. I got in and out. I didn't overstay my welcome. Where is it at? I'll show y'all. I think we saw it earlier. Okay, where is it? Boom. So here it was, QQQs today. I used about 893 bucks. I made 7%. And so if you're new and you want to get an idea of how much I'm trading with and what I'm typically going for, my average trade amount is about 1,000, anywhere from 900 to 1,000. And I typically aim for 5 to 10%, real quick little scalp, get in and out. And that usually gives me about 50 to 100 bucks is what we saw, right? 50 to 100. Don't overstay my welcome. Keep it pushing. And I'm just kind of letting my account compound and grow and grow and grow. They say good trading is boring trading, and I'm really starting to learn that. I'm really starting to learn that the more boring my trading day was or is, or the more boring the trade is, usually that means it was profitable. If I have like a crazy story about a trade, oh, this happened, blah, 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 it's usually a loss. It's usually FOMO. It's usually me chasing a trade. Usually it's a bad trade. So right now, where I'm at in my trading journey, it really is a testament. Good trading is boring trading. All right. Let me make sure I got on it. Collins says, I don't know W equals win, I guess. Yeah, I think the same thing. I've never gotten it before. So either way, I appreciate you, my guy. Big time. Huh. All right. Collins says I got 1,200. Yesterday I chased $2. Oh man. All right, Cassie says, so what will be your exit if it goes the other way? Very good question. Very good question. So I'll be real with you, Cassie. Right now, my risk to reward. So you'll hear that a lot, right? People say, what's your risk to reward? Is it 1 to 3? Is it 1 to 4, 1 to 5? Right now, where I'm at a 1 to 1. So I typically will stop myself out at 5 to 10% if the trade moves against me, depending on how fast it moves against me, things like that. If the trade like immediately starts moving against me fast and hits 10%, I'll just go ahead and get out. If it's something that kind of takes its time and it's just slow moving, then maybe around the 5% range or 7%, something like that. But right now I'm at a 1-to-1, which isn't the best. I'll be real. I'm not gonna front. Having a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio is not the best, because what that means is you've really got to win more of your trades than you lose. When you trade with like a 1-to-3 risk reward ratio, you could lose a little bit more and still be in profit. And so that's one thing I'm starting to change and work on, is being able to up my risk to reward ratio. Now, there is one way that you can do that, which is very simple. You need to have your PTs, or your support and resistance. That's basically what I say. Your support and resistance already in mind. And that's why this pre market high, pre market low strategy works so perfectly. It works so good because it gives you your PTs. So when I'm trading like this, like how I traded earlier, there isn't necessarily a defined level like support and resistance unless I mark it out that I'm going for. So I hope that makes sense. I know I kind of rambled a little bit, but to answer your question, right now I'm doing a 1-to-1. So I typically aim for 5 to 10% profit, but I also have like a 5 to 10% stop loss. And it usually depends on price action and how fast the trade is moving against me. But that isn't the best way to trade. I'll be honest with you. You want to start developing or adding into this strategy where you can have a 1-to-3 risk reward ratio, 1-to-4. That way you don't have to win so many trades to still be in profit. All right, Chaser says, I'm very new to trading. I don't know anything. Can you teach me, please? Yes, yes, yes. Colin says, what app do you use? So, Collins, I'm primarily in Robinhood, but as you can see right here in front of us, I do have Webull, and I'm just slowly making my way over to Webull. I really need to just stop BSing, get out of my comfort zone. Um, as you can see, I had boom. All right, okay. Jeez. So I had to re-download Webull the other day, but you guys can see it right here on my desktop, and I'm using Webull and Robinhood. I actually have accounts with Thinkorswim as well. Um, what is all of this? I don't. All right, maybe I should have took the time to read that. See, that's why I'm not on Webull yet, because I haven't taken the time to read this and get familiar with it. All right, all right. But yeah, you guys can see. Let me make sure I don't show my account. I know some of y'all on the internet are too smart. Colin says, "Can you trade as much as you want on Webull?" All right, all right. So, got two questions here. Hold on, Diddy James. So for Collins, there, I'm trying to give you too much information, but long and short answer is, Collins, it doesn't matter really what US broker you're using. So if you're using Webull, if you're using Thinkorswim, if you're using Robinhood, if you're using E-Trade, if you're using Fidelity, if you're using whatever, um, if your account is not a cash account, then you will be limited to 3 day trades in a week if you have less than 25 G's. And I think all of us know that, right? We've all struggled with it. So the easiest thing that I found to do is just contact or call or go to my broker and convert your account to a cash account. So when you have a cash account, you can do unlimited trades. But here's the kicker: you can only do as many trades as you have settled cash available. What does that mean? What am I talking about? So let's say, for instance, you have $10,000 in your trading account and you have a cash account. You could do 10 $1,000 trades in a day, or you could do 20 $500 trades in a day. You see where I'm going with it? Or you could just do one $10,000 trade. So when you convert your account to a cash account, however much cash you have available, that's how much you can use in one day. So if you keep your risk management really small and tight, you can get a whole lot of trades. That's what I do. Just to show you guys, I have, I'm not trying to brag or anything. If I'm still logged in, I'll show you. If I'm not logged in, then I won't. Let's see. Okay, so we're answering Colin's questions right now about if you can do as many trades as you want on Webull. No, you can't. You're still restricted to only doing 3 day trades in a week if you have under 25 G's. But if you convert your account to a cash account, whether you're on Webull or you're on Robinhood or you're on Thinkorswim, you can do as many trades as you have cash available. So here's my Robinhood account. I got a little over 11 G's. I can do 11 $1,000 trades and one $100 trade. and boom, I've got 12 trades. Or I could do, 10 $1,000 trades or whatever the case may be. So, however much cash you have settled, that's how much in trading you could do. So, I just wanted to show you kind of a semi live example, if you will. All right. All right. Cassie Vaughn Collins is back. If you have 25,000 or you can get a cash account and trade your settle cash. Couldn't have said it better. All that yapping I was doing and Cassie had it straight on. All right. All right. Appreciate the gifts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Redman says hold for a long time until end next year. Yeah, man. If you can afford to get some contracts that expire, they call them leaps. If you have contracts that expire over a year, that's typically a leap. That's really where I've seen people make some big, big money, crazy money. Right. Okay, y'all. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. I hope I gave some value. I hope I gave you a little bit of information that you'll be able to use in your trading. I've got a little bit of homework to do, which is to get that back testing log up on Google for y'all. And I'll use a different account. Thank y'all for the suggestions. I'll use a different email and then I'll blast it out and share it with y'all. I'll go live to let you guys know it's available. And with that being said, I'll be tapping in with y'all. I really appreciate all the love, all the gifts, all the likes, all the shares, all the support. And if you guys have any questions, just DM me or leave a comment on one of my videos and I'll tap in with you. All right. Peace.